I'm curious about that because so Ariadne Labs is thinking about possibly going to other hospitals and working in a lot of different types of settings. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, like, what are the ideal settings in which this could work?
Right. Yeah. Definitely hospital. Like, it's going to be probably harder to implement if, you have a smaller hospital if the docs aren't present, mm-hmm. Et cetera. Just because, and I don't know. I don't know a lot about labor throughout the rest of the country, but I know that, like, the West Coast is a little more progressive, so I don't know. Like, the challenges would be fairly hard in different locations, too.
Mm-hmm. So we're interested in learning how the project affects patients, both mm-hmm. positively and negatively. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if you have any initial thoughts on that. I think you addressed some of the positive
things. Negative. I mean, there are some patients who I think get overwhelmed with too much information. There's patients where you try to explain things and it seems, they get more worried about things. But that's the only, like, negative thing I could think of.
Have you experienced that?
I haven't personally, but I know that there have been some nurses who've, like, tried to explain what we would typically explain, and then the patient, like, it's, like, too much for them. Mm-hmm. And so then they've not liked the nurse because they thought the nurse was, like, making her worry for no reason or stuff like that. But you have to just kind of gauge your patient. And it can be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to go into huge explanations. You just have to go into... And I think people don't take the time to ask, like, do you understand? Do you have any questions? Like, we just say it, like, okay, and then leave.
Yeah. What about the effect that the project has on clinicians, so like nurses and providers?
Like I said, the positive stuff is I think it's helpful for communicating as a team and being on the same goal. I think as far as negative side effects, it might be kind of irritating to the providers if they're not interested in the project and the nurses are pestering them about huddles, etc. Another thing I found is kind of inefficient was the huddles in triage, and I think that was because of the model we have too, right? Like, we'd be calling our docs at home, it's weird to have a phone huddle. It just is weird, and not very many people wanted to participate in that. But then, they have to see them eventually, so their first meeting with them, I think, is appropriate to have a huddle. But
so, what about the huddles in triage?
Just that it's like the doctor's not there, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like we're calling the doctor to tell them what's going on. It's hard. It's pretty much not possible to do a phone huddle, I've found. They don't have the time to have that conversation. They want a quick conversation from us to get the patient admitted, and then I think it's more appropriate for the first huddle to be on admission. Mm-hmm. I think that will change. I think eventually we're going to get this new hospice group. There'll be a doc in triage. I think that's great. And then it might be more possible to do that.
Okay. So like I said, the team at Ariadne is thinking about possibly bringing this to other hospitals. Mm-hmm. If you had the opportunity to speak to someone at one of those other hospitals, what advice would you give them about the project and how to set it up for success?
Like I said, I would say don't stress about the whiteboard. Mm-hmm. It's more about the conversation. And like that you're already probably doing and having these conversations. You just need to think about the way you would write it down on the board. That's been, I think, was the biggest challenge. People are like, why do I write? And then you just have to learn how to frame it so it fits into the categories.
Yeah. Would you recommend any changes to the project when you think about bringing it to different settings?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. So my last question for you is called a Net Promoter Score. Mm-hmm. It's a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is not at all, 5 is neutral, and 10 is extremely likely. How likely are you to recommend teamwork to a colleague?
10.
And I know you talked about you talked about this already, but is there anything else that you want to add about like why you like the project so much?
It's just what did I say in the beginning? I said like, it's just good medicine. It's just the way medicine should be practiced.
Is there anything else you want to share or talk about?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.